All right, guys. Let me explain to you how this app is going to function. So what we're going to work on is this piece of hardware. And so if I press this stuff here, it doesn't do anything, right? Nothing will happen. So when I hit power, it turns it on to 0, 0. So that would indicate that, I'm on channel 0, 0. So let's say we want to turn to channel 4. So what we'll do is we'll hit 4 and then hit enter. So now we're on channel 4. How about if we wanted to watch channel 8? So we're going to go to 8 and then enter. Channel 9. I didn't program these yet. We'll get to that. How about channel 23? So we're going to hit 23. And automatically it'll do it 54. So that's all this program does. It would change channels on your remote. How about 31? And let's turn it off. So TV's off, turn it back on, we're back to 0. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at how do we do this. It's kind of a lot to take in, so I'll explain how it all works. What you want to do is, in the last video, we went ahead and defined our values for our receiver. So like when you hit the power button on the receiver, it reads in a value of a hexadecimal value of FD00FF. You can go through and do them all, right? And I just made a variable called play was pressed. That just simply means that, hey, we pressed the play button. And that will check a value. We just have to send a value in on off. So we started on off is 0. 0 means off and 1 means on. We did our data latch and clock pins. Clear value 255, 0. Again, these values were from the 7-segment display to display each one of these characters. Then we come up with in counter. What this keeps track of is what channel, like how many times have we pressed the button. So like I could show you. So if I press the button once, just turn it on first. The counter is 0, and now the counter goes up to 1. So it either goes 0 when you first press it, or 1 if it goes up again. Okay, so the counter keeps track of how many numbers we entered. I'd go 0, 1, 2 if I want to keep track of a 3-digit channel thing. In channel 0, that's just, not a big deal there. In channel 0, so this channel is the first one we pressed. Like, for example, like if I hit 6 and then I hit power, then I hit 6 and enter. So that's channel. If I hit 2 numbers, like 23, so the first one I hit is channel, and the second one I hit is channel 0. So that sets up the, actually channel 0 is the first channel, and channel is the second channel. That sets up our what numbers on what display. All right, this is all, this stuff already. I don't think I need that. Okay, so let's just go ahead and set it up here. Let me see here. So what this does is, set up your pin modes, set up your serial in, serial out. Again, this is, we went over a bunch of this stuff last time for how to set up the remote. So that's nothing new. The only thing I did put in new is this block right here. And what this block right here does is it just makes sure that we start off our program with the segment off. And when we turn it on, it's set up to 0, 0. Okay, so we're setting up to 0, 0. You probably actually don't even need that. Let's see if I get rid of that and just make a really short setup. Would that still work? Probably would. No, we have to do that. So if we get rid of that, we don't our segment's on, and that's annoying. That doesn't look very good. So we do this just to turn everything off when we first. It's like I guess you could say an initializer that turns off all the hardware. Okay. All right. So what we're doing here is saying, all right, did you receive any results? Yes, I received results. This is all what do you call it? You could put this in for debugging purposes, just to see what your counter is. Okay, so you'll see double result equals get num results.value. So what happens is, like, what this means is when I hit like a number, let me turn this on. For example, like let's say I hit 2 and then I hit enter, turn it off. Okay, cool. So I hit 2 and then I hit enter. So that's going to return what 2 is on a 7-segment display. So what's 2? 2 is this. 36. That's why you'll see the result is 36, because that's how to make it 2, right? If we wanted to make a, I don't know, a 7, so if I started this and turn it off, turn it back on, and I hit 7, then enter, you'll see that a 7 is 120, right? Because that's what a 7 is here, 120. So that's basically just setting that up. All right, so that's what this double result does. Again, this is just debugging purposes. You don't even need that. I'm just going to comment this out just for the sake of our code. So we don't really need that. Okay, what this is saying, if result is greater than or equal to 0 and result is less than or equal to 64, 164, that means that our return value from our function is one of the digits. We're going to say, all right, and on-off equals 1. That means our remote is on. So we received a digit from 0 through 9, and our remote is on. You're going to say counter equals 0. So if counter 0, well, that means we haven't put in a number yet. We're going to say I'm in counter 0. Again, this is, you don't need that. That's for debugging purposes. You'll say the channel equals result and counter equals 1. So your channel is, that means this one is just going to be the result of what I'm setting back from the function, like the 120 or the, you know, whatever these were, 36, you know, like that. All right. Else if counter is 1. That means we've already pressed one button and we're pressing another button. So this is for the second number. You're going to say the channel 0 is the result. So that's going to be, if you notice that we're shifting in channel 0 first, that's going to be the one on the right. And then we're going to shift in the channel. So the channel 0 is the right number and the channel is the left number. And then you're going to, you know, obviously open up the shift register, put in your first number and, you know, shift it over to the right one. So the right one is the right registers outputting the right number to the 7-segment display, and the first number, the tens place is holding that number. That's what this one is doing. This is the tens place. So you go look, this is the ones place, and this one is the tens place. Unless you've done a lot of programming, this would be pretty hard to write. All right, so what this does, this resets the counter. So this means that, like, I put in 2 numbers and my counter is 0 to 1. That means I'm on the second number. Once I put in my second number, I'm going to display my number and I'm going to reset the counter so that when I start pressing numbers again, I don't even know if I'm in the frame here. What do you call it? It'll actually, you know, display the right number. All right, now what's this big if statement doing? This is actually elsing this right here. It's elsing this one. So this is saying, if on-off is 1, so our remote is on, our TV is on, and the result equals play was pressed. So if the remote's on and we press the play, and the counter is 1, so that means we've already entered a number, right? We've entered one number only, and we've hit the play, so we want to go to that channel. So what we're going to do is we're just going to simply, right here, you're going to throw in a 0 to this one, to this register right here, to this register, and you're going to put in the channel to the right one. Let me explain what's going on there. So let me turn it on. So like I'll put 5 and then hit play. So what'll happen is I'll put a 0 to this register and then I put a 5 in here. So I put in the channel, I kind of like push in the channel and then I push in the 0. It's like a stack, kind of like a horizontal stack. Then you go ahead and you resume it and the result equals -999. So we're just saying, hey, look, you know, just say we didn't do anything, right? You probably don't even need this. Let me see. I don't think that does anything. I think I was just debugging there. All right, let's try. Yep. Yeah, that was just for debugging. You don't need that. So that's it. That's how it works. Now you say, how does the getNum function work? Well, let me show you how that works. It's pretty simple, actually. You're going to say int return value. So you're going to start off, well, our return value is 0 to start out with. If the value is equal to power, that means we press the power button. We sent in the value for power. And the value for power for lookup here was, it's hexadecimal, FD00FF. I don't know what that is in decimal. I'd have to figure it out. It doesn't matter. So the values, whatever the value is for power, and the on-off is 1. So we hit power and our remote is on. So we're just going to go ahead and say, all right, well, the power was on and I hit power. If the power is on and I hit the power button, that should turn the power off, right? That should toggle the power off. So it just says clear the shift registers, put in, and this will make the 7 segments display turn off. 255 will make all the lights turn off. You could say, I think I actually saved that as a value up here somewhere. Yeah, clear value. So if you want, you could put clear value. And then you're going to write, well, this just closes it. And then you're going to say on off equals 0. So we're going to turn it off. So right here, this if statement is turning everything off. Else if the value is power, so we hit power, and we're currently off. Let's just say we're currently off. So if we're currently off and we hit power, what should we do? Well, we should turn it on, right? So what this is doing is this is turning it on. Then you have a whole bunch of else ifs. Else if value equals 0R and on off is 1. So we hit the 0 button on the remote, 0R, 0 on the remote, and on off is 1. Go ahead and return 0. Go ahead and return 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, that's all, that's how we're doing that. Don't need that. That was silly debugging. Okay. Sometimes I put dumb messages in when I debug because I had some issues when I wrote this for some reason. And then you just, at the end, you just return whatever was pressed. And that's it. That's the code. Hopefully that kind of makes some sense. You can watch the video, code as you go. I didn't code this as I went because I had some errors. So I want to make sure that my code was clean and working before I showed it to you. All right. So thanks for watching, and I hope your project is working. Next video, we'll go ahead and we'll do the buzzer. So we're going to do like a zzz, doo, 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 something like that when we turn on the remote on and off.